Hello everyone, this is grade 6, module 2, lesson 7 problem set. So the directions here for the problem set say invert and multiply to divide. So during the lesson, as we look up above, AB divided by CD is the same as saying AB times DC. So inverting the second fraction and then multiplying will get you the answer. So we'll do one or two from each. So I'll do A and B for 1. So I'm going to invert, so 2/3, invert the 1/4 to 4 over 1, and then multiply to get 8/3. I can leave it like that, or I can put it back into a mixed number by dividing 3 into 8. It'll go in 2 times with 2 left over, and I know I'm going to keep my denominator. Let's go to C. And to start with that, I have to have 4 over 1. I have to put it over 1 to make it a fraction. And I'm going to invert the 2/3 to 3/2, and I can multiply now. And I get 12 over 2, or 12/2, and that's the same as 6. We'll do B for this for 2. So 1/8, I'm going to invert 3/4. So I have 1/8, and now it's 4/3. And now I can multiply instead of divide. And I have 4 24ths, and I know that that can be simplified to 1/6. So you're seeing that we're just inverting the second fraction and then multiplying out. So I'll do, we'll go to A for this next one, 3A, 2/3 times, and I'm going to invert 3/4 to 4/3. And I'll have 8/9. And I'm just multiplying across once I get to that point. For this last one, C, 22/4 times 5/2. So this changes to multiplication, and I'm going to invert those two, meaning I'm going to flip them around. So I get 110 over 8. That can be reduced down, or not reduced, sorry, simplified down to 55 over 4. And then if I wanted to, I could then divide this out. And I will, just because I don't know if you have to put them back into mixed numbers or not. And it'll be 13 3/4. So that's how we're doing the invert and multiply method. So I'll do 2 more of these. Let's do 5, and then I'll do 6, just to make sure that we hit 1 even and 1 odd. 5 says, Alistair has 5 half-pound chocolate bars. It takes 1.5 pounds of chocolate broken into chunks to make a batch of cookies. How many batches can Alistair make with the chocolate that he has on hand? So what we need to do is, first we have to figure out what 5 half-pound chocolate bars are. And I know that I have 5 half pounds. It's the same as 5 times a half, which is going to give us 5/2. So that's what it means when it says 5 half-pound chocolate bars. So we have 5/2. The next part says it takes 1.5 pounds of chocolate. So I want to take 1.5, and I know that I'm going to divide this. So I have 5/2 divided by 1.5, because I need to see how many 1.5 pounds I can get out of the 5 half-pounds, because that's what it's going to take to make a batch. But I can't divide this as a mixed number, so I got to turn it into a fraction. And I know that with 1.5, this is a 2 over 2. So I can now add the 2 over 2 to the 1 half and get 3 halves. That's just a quick way to do that, is knowing that 1 whole is the same as 2 halves. And I took the 2 halves from the denominator there. And then some of you also do the multiply, add, swooping around. That's good as long as we understand why, which is what we showed right here with the 1 being a 2 over 2. Now I can invert and multiply. So I have 5 halves times 2/3. I see some cross canceling I could do. So the 1 and the 1. And then I can multiply across to get 5/3. If you didn't cross cancel, you'll get 10/6, which will reduce or simplify down to this. And then I'll turn that back into a mixed number of 1 2/3. So 1 2/3 batches. So you can make 1 full batch and has enough to make 2/3 of another batch. And that's what I'd write for my answer statement, but I'm running out of space. And then lastly, I'll do 6 here because I think this model is going to be fun. And who knows, I might even jump into 7. So 6 says, draw a model that shows 2/5 divided by 1/3. There's 2 different models we can draw, so I might do 7 just so I can show the second model. We can say 2/5 is 1/3 of what? Whenever we're doing division, that's really what we're saying, is that 2/5 is 1/3 of something. So when I draw my model, I'm going to draw 1/3 to start, and I'm going to label that 1/3 as 2/5 because 2/5 is 1/3 of the whole amount. So now all I have to do is fill in the rest of this model. And what we're looking for is the whole amount. So if this one is 2/5, so is this, so is this. And I know when I add fractions, or if I wanted to multiply this, I can add the numerators, which will give me 2, 4, 6, and I keep my denominator. Or I can do 2/5 times 3, which is the same thing. So it'll get me 6/5, which I know I can then put that into a mixed number. 5 goes into 6 one time with 1 left over. Now, right underneath the problem and under 6, I'll do the multiply, the invert and multiply. So I'm multiplying now, and 1/3 goes to 3 over 1. And I get 6/5. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. And that goes to 1 1/5. So that's where the model comes in play and kind of helps. The next one, 7, I'm going to do 7 just because I want to draw the other model where we show 2 tape diagrams next to each other. If you don't know that one, then stick to this model here. And maybe I'll draw both of them just to show for it. So we have draw a model that shows 3/4 divided by 1/2. So I'm going to draw this time 3/4. And I'll do a small shade here. And then I'm going to draw one that is 1/2. So what I'm going to do now to do this is I'm going to go up to the fourths. So this top part, this is showing 3/4, and I'm going to break it, each of those, into halves because that's what I'm trying to divide. So 3/4 is the same as 6/8, which is what I just made. Now for the halves, I'm going to break it into fourths. And now I have 4/8 and I have 6/8. So I'm looking to where this is showing, and it's going right up into here. So that's, I can at least get a 1 whole out of it because I see that this shaded part, it's how many I can pull out of this. So I'm pulling out this piece right here. So that's a 1 whole that I can pull out. And then I see there's 2 more pieces. and I see that they match up with 2 here. So what do I have left? I can pull out 2 of the 4 that I need because I'm making groups of 4 here. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm taking out 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can pull out 1 group. 1, 2. I can only pull out 2 of the next 4. And we know that 2/4 can be a half. So I can only pull out 1 1/2 of those. And that's the model that's showing it. And of course I can do my invert and multiply. So 3/4 times 2/1 is 6/4, which gets me 1 2/4, which is 1 1/2. And I know I did that kind of quick, but once you get to 6/4, you can then go through and show your simplification there. And I think I just made a word up, simplification. Love it. Now that's the one model. Now if you want the second model that we drew up above, we would say 3/4 is half of what? So I'm going to draw 1/2 and label it 3/4. And I know if this half is 3/4, then I know this half is 3/4, and I want to find the whole amount. So 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4, and I think you know where we're going with this one. 6/4 is the same as 6/4, which is 1 1/2. So 2 different models to show. We can do a side-by-side with the 2 tape diagrams, or we can do the 1 tape diagram using the numbers saying 3/4 is 1/2. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the rest of your problem set.